Imagine a king so rich that when he traveled across Africa, entire economies collapsed behind him. A ruler whose wealth was so massive, historians today still struggle to calculate it. But what's even stranger is this. Most people were never taught his story. This was the African empire that shocked the world, and may have been richer than all of Europe combined. Long before modern banks, before oil billionaires, before European empires dominated the world, there was the Mali Empire, stretching across West Africa during the 1300s. The empire controlled some of the richest land on earth. But one thing made Mali different from every other kingdom of its time: gold. Massive amounts of it. At one point, the Mali Empire controlled nearly half of the world's known gold supply. While many European kingdoms struggled economically, Mali was overflowing with wealth. Its cities became centers of trade, learning, and power. And at the center of it all was one man, a ruler whose name would echo through history: Mansa Musa. Many historians believe Mansa Musa may have been the richest human being who ever lived. Not millionaire, not billionaire, richer than modern billionaires today. And the craziest part? He didn't hide his wealth. He displayed it to the world. In 1324, Mansa Musa began a journey that would become legendary: a pilgrimage to Mecca. But this wasn't an ordinary trip. Reports claim his caravan included thousands of soldiers, servants, traders, and camels carrying enormous amounts of gold. Everywhere he traveled, people watched in disbelief. Then something unbelievable happened. Mansa Musa gave away so much gold during the journey that entire economies were affected. In places like Cairo, gold became less valuable for years. One man had accidentally disrupted the economy of entire regions. Think about that. But Mali's true power wasn't just gold. It was knowledge. One city in particular shocked travelers from around the world: Timbuktu. Today, many people think of Timbuktu as a distant desert town. But centuries ago, it was one of the greatest cities on earth. Scholars traveled there to study science, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and religion. Some historians say its libraries held hundreds of thousands of manuscripts. At a time when much of Europe was still struggling through instability, Timbuktu was becoming a center of education and intellectual power, and the world took notice. So here's the question. If the Mali Empire was this powerful, why do so few people know about it today? Some historians believe African civilizations were often ignored or minimized in global history education. Stories of wealth, innovation, and advanced kingdoms were overshadowed by colonial narratives. But the evidence still exists. Ancient maps from Europe even showed Mansa Musa holding a piece of gold in his hand, symbolizing his unimaginable wealth. The world knew about Mali, and for a time, it stood among the greatest empires alive. But no empire lasts forever. Over time, political struggles, invasions, and shifting trade routes slowly weakened the empire, and eventually, its dominance faded. But its legacy never disappeared. Even today, the story of the Mali Empire continues to fascinate historians around the world. An African kingdom richer than most nations of its time, a ruler whose wealth became legendary, and a city that once rivaled the greatest centers of learning on earth. Yet millions still don't know the story. Maybe that's beginning to change, because hidden beneath the pages of forgotten history are stories powerful enough to reshape how we see the world. And this was one of them. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and follow for more forgotten histories, lost kingdoms, and untold mysteries from around the world. And tell us in the comments, do you think Mansa Musa was the richest man who ever lived? And which forgotten empire should we uncover next? Because some of the greatest stories in history were never properly told.